Apple released a new case, TechWoven. In the next few minutes, we're gonna take a look at the design, compare the durability against other mixed material cases, especially against this thing, and then I'm gonna take it apart because why not? Ooh. Initial scratch test, nothing. So first impressions, the material feels pretty nice. The material's also on the inside of the case, which is kind of neat. Buttons are metallic, which is the same as the FineWoven, but different compared to the Apple silicone cases. Corners seem to be around 2-ish. When compared against the silicone case, it's quite significant. I'm excited to do a drop test on this when the 17s get released. For back thickness, it's about 2 mils. So between the silicone and the TechWoven, they're about the same. They both have a decent amount of flex. Now, when it comes to weight, the TechWoven is actually lighter by about 1 gram. So the 17 Pro Max is thicker than the 16 Pro Max, which means the cases have to be thicker, but for some odd reason, it's lighter? Now we know. Let's test the durability. I'm gonna do 3 tests. First one's gonna involve rubbing jeans against it. Second, we'll be sanding it with 600 grit sandpaper. And the third thing I'm gonna do is take this really strong grip and just rotate it a bunch of times to see what happens. I've done these tests against a Metropolis, which has a Kevlar aramid finish, a Peak design case, which has a fabric finish, and I've done it against the original FineWoven. Now with the blue jean test, this is my day-to-day wear test. And in this corner, you can barely tell that I rubbed my jeans there a ton of times. This thing is pretty abrasive, and I don't know if you can see on the camera, but I can see a bit of blue. This is a far cry from the FineWoven durability, and a similar result to the other 2 cases that I've tested. Now with the sandpaper test, it's just a way for me to mimic long-term usage of just doing this. So I scratched this side of the case, and it's pretty hard to tell that there's a lot of, or there was any sort of friction on it. Night and day compared to the FineWoven case. And the result from the TechWoven case actually looks better than the UAG Metropolis as well as the Peak Design Everyday case. That's pretty neat to see. Let's talk about the MagSafe area. It looks the worst between the 3 cases I've tested. Now the thing I use is this UAG grip. This thing has a rubber coating on top of the magnets. Yeah, and you can definitely see the friction marks. The material is pretty abrasive, and it started taking off the rubber bits off this MagSafe accessory. Now I've tested a ton of MagSafe accessories. You're generally not going to have issues with things like MagSafe wallets because they're generally smooth. But a lot of grips tend to have a rubber finish on the back, and so this case is actually going to wear that rubber finish. One of the things I just noticed on this case is just how nice the textured edges are. Seems to have a slightly more abrasive finish than the FineWoven case. I'm really liking how this case feels. All right, let's kind of wreck this case. Got a little too close. Pew. This is really glued in there. Oh, that's impressive. Still really tough. There we go. So there's a couple layers to the back of the case. The thing that was really hard to take off was actually this foam bit. The TechWoven material itself is very, very thin, which is kind of expected, but to give the case the fullness, kind of like there's a bit of give. It's TechWoven fabric glued onto some foam. I think it's foam. There's no foam on the Apple logo. Last thing I'm gonna check are the magnets. They look the same. Kind of no difference between the 2. So that's all I got for this video. Questions, comments, leave them down there. I'm excited to do a full drop test with this product once the 17s actually drop next week. I think this is going to do really well because Apple's silicone case as a thin case is one of the better drop rated ones in my testing system with the thicker bumpers and everything, and it being lighter. This thing's going to be awesome. I am excited. I'm impressed, Apple. Good job. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, subscribe. I'm a reviewer, not an influencer. I just find the best tech for my accessories or accessories for my tech. Like this is what, $2,000 worth of battery banks that I've tested recently. I've got a ton of content dropping next week, so make sure you check my channel regularly because I got so many things to tell you guys. Thanks for watching.